Incriminate yourself in the truth. Kohaloyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule all over the flock. Shalom and salutations to you brothers out here that's pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites in these last days. We're going to start and have been and continue to incriminate ourselves in this truth, in righteousness, right? The word incriminate means make someone appear guilty or of a crime or wrongdoing. Strongly imply the guilt of someone. And as you could say here, implicate, right? Implicate, show someone to be involved in a crime. And the crime that we're committing is not so much of a crime in as we see it, but a crime as they see it. All right, they persecuted the saints, they persecuted the prophets, they persecuted Yahushua. They found these crimes, they found him guilty of treasonous things against Caesar. They found Jeremiah guilty of certain things, and Nehemiah and prophets before of old, and men of the Lord, Peter, Paul, John, and they found the 12 guilty. And these things that they were guilty of is being steadfast in preaching and teaching the names of the Lord. It says here, implicate, involve. So involve, incriminate yourselves in righteousness, right? Why righteousness? Because that's what we're doing technically. Scripture says in the end times how they shall persecute. There should be an insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So they will claim, they will blame, they will accuse, right? But just implicate, all right? Implicate, entrap, set yourself up in the truth, incriminate yourself in righteousness, all right? In righteousness, all right? Not in no niggardry, in righteousness, right? Now let's get that. All right, where am I going with this? Rapai, you going? There you go again with these crazy. Nah, man, check it out. Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuteth and persecuted thee. So we know that they will persecute us, and they'll persecute us for the righteousness that we did. See, we're incriminated in righteousness. They're gonna say, you know what? This man, he was out there on the streets and he was teaching Yahushua. All right, he was telling any black or Spanish or African American gentleman walking by that he was an Israelite and that he should return back to the Lord because the Lord is going to destroy America. We can say, well, if that's what I'm guilty of, yeah, then I take that. I bear that responsibility because we're incriminating ourselves in righteousness. Once again, strongly imply the guilt of, right? So we're incriminating. We're making ourselves appear guilty to the crime of teaching the word. That means we're going to continue to do what is going to be outlawed very soon, what is going to be demonized right now, teaching the word, being standing stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is all we're incriminating ourselves right now. See, because they're going to use these videos against us or whatnot to prove that we were actually out here doing the work of the Lord, which they will demonize very soon. Right? Deuteronomy 30:7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies. So we know that's how he's going to pay us back. But let me go into some of these other precepts I had off that I brought out of, that these scriptures made me think about, or this topic. Jeremiah 17:10 says, I, the Lord thy heart. And I'll get back into Deuteronomy 30:7 later. Jeremiah 17:10. I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruits of his doings. So the Lord gonna bless us, man. The Lord gonna give us, because he's watching, and he's watching the meditation of our hearts. He's watching if we really desire to be in this land, Babylon, if we desire to plant our feet down here and to plant our children's feet down here and really raise up children, or are we actually asking sincerely, right, for the destruction of this place here, America? And I believe wholeheartedly that great millstone is that camp that's really asking for the destruction of this place, Mystery Babylon here, America, because it brings us ever so closer. We just want to get the F out of here, man. That is the sentiment of brothers. So we incriminate ourselves in righteousness. We constantly endure. He that endureth unto the end shall be saved. Endure hardness like a good soldier. We constantly put ourselves out there and promote the downfall of this society. We mean it. The Lord said, I trust, search the heart. He knows what you think in the mind. I try the reins, even, let's see what the word reins mean in the dictionary real quick. A long, narrow strap attached to the end of a horse's bit. Check that out, right? For riding or for driving. Check, try the reins, pulling his reins, like that. What is reins in the Bible? It says the kidneys. Oh, okay, I figured it wasn't talking about a horse. The supposed seat of the desires and affections. There it goes. Used metaphorically for heart. Okay, makes more sense now. All right, so the reins, your heart is your desires, the seat of your desires. And it says, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing. So how you act, how you really truly believe. You got to really truly believe that this place is not our rest. This is not our rest. This place shall utterly destroy you. You have to believe that we are the Israelites. You have to believe that through faith, right? And the Most High is watching. So we want to incriminate ourselves in righteousness. The righteous things of the Lord is to actually believe that he's going to bring down Babylon. Thus shall that great city Babylon be destroyed with fire. Right? You erase it even to the foundation thereof. That's what Esau said. But the Lord said, how, we shall dance in the feet of the wicked. So it's all going to be put upon his head. The Lord said, I am not, I am not, Galatians 6 and 7, I am not mocked. All right. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So we believe that it's all going to come down on Esau's head. So that's why we incriminating ourselves in righteousness, right? Rule 4:28 says, for as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so being returned, seeking 10 times more. As it was your mind to go astray, right? And that word astray, what does that mean? It means into error, morally questionable behavior. You see, it just don't mean walk the opposite way. It means to go into error or morally questionable behavior. So we went astray. Now being returned, right? And what is it? To turn back, to come back to a place or person. So we're turned back to the Lord and we seeking him 10 times more now. So how do you do that? By incriminating yourself in righteousness. If it's about going out to camp, being there on time, doing that. Now, in the phrase that I like to use, lead by, you could say live by, lead by, same thing, is one of the old Stoic phrases. Be hard on yourself, be strict with yourself and tolerant of others. The scripture says, if I'm, talking about offenses, talking about turning the other cheek, talking about praying for your enemies. Those would be those of your of the brotherhood. And when certain strivings come along, you pray for your enemies. You pray for those that persecute you. You pray for them. You learn to do these things. You learn to forgive trespasses. You learn to keep the peace, so to speak. And that is another element of just the fact that we just will do whatever it takes. Being strict with yourself, but tolerant of others, would do whatever it takes to be that man that brings peace, brings enlightenment to the body, and continues to walk steadfast, because scripture says, for the elect's sake, these days shall be shortened. So we could see it. We see the horizon arising from the east, right? It's here, the rumors of Yahweh's return coming, and all of the type of different signs of that, and signs, and we're measuring the times, and we can see it happening, man. So for as it was your mind to go astray, so be returned, seek him 10 times more, right? And then we know that 10 symbolizes completion. So search, do it with all your heart, incriminate yourself in righteousness for the sake of your salvation, right? Romans 12:1 says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh. What does beseech mean? It means to urgently and fervently to do something, implore, entreat, ask someone, Slakia, urgently and fervently to do something, basically to beg them. It says, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. That word holy means dedicated or consecrated, to Yahweh or religious purpose, sacred. We're dedicated to the Father. All right, so we present our bodies. Why? We go out there and teach, and we do whatever Yahweh Bashmiel shall ask us to do as a living sacrifice. So we're walking around doing this with our physical bodies. We're being in places we have to do. We're doing up these shows. We're feeding the sheep daily, which is your reasonable service. So it's a reasonable service. The word reasonable means having sound judgment, fair and sensible. So this is the fair and sensible thing to do, is incriminate yourself in the truth and righteousness. To incriminate, again, means implicate yourself. All right, to appear guilty. When they say, man, this man was out there on the corners of the streets, he was talking about trying to deliver the rest of the elect, telling that the Lord is coming back to deliver his elect. You could say, yeah, I'm guilty. I'm guilty as charged. I was doing that. That was my reasonable service. And that was acceptable unto the Father. It says, and be not conformed to this world. When they say, yeah, he didn't want to fit in with the world. Matter of fact, what did he say? He said, love not the world. He kept teaching this. Don't love the world. 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So they going to say, yo, and he was teaching to love, that they shouldn't love the world. He was out there on the streets teaching this. You could say, yep, that was me. I was doing that. That sounds about accurate. Sounds about right. Why? Ultimately, because the Lord is going to restore us. Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So the Lord's going to return it back on their heads. They're going to say, yeah, he was teaching that Esau was the devil and how he's going into captivity. Yep, that was me. Implicated. I'm implicated. 2 Corinthians Chronicles 36 and 16. But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord rose against his people till there was no remedy. Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew their young men. So you're not going to mock the messengers of Yahweh. You're not going to despise the words of the Lord. And you're not going to misuse his prophets without the wrath of the Lord coming upon them. And that's what they're going to say in these end times. He was teaching that the wrath of the Lord was going to come upon Babylon and America. Yes, I am guilty. So I'll be this video was edifying. Till next time, shalom.